Yo, what it is, you know what it is. It's your man, King Musa. Welcome to the Hub Hero, the podcast dedicated to exploring the 7 dimensions of wellness here at Stephen F. Austin State University. I'm your host, King Musa, and we'll be focusing on social wellness. In this episode, we'll be exploring the importance of building and maintaining healthy, supportive relationship, effective communication, empathy, and fostering a sense of belonging with communities. I'll be talking to Dr. Lacy Folsom, the Director of Student Engagement, to uncover the resources and support available at SFA to enhance your social well-being. Let's get started. Joining me now is Dr. Lacy Folsom, Director of Student Engagement. Welcome, Dr. Folsom.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Musa.
Yeah. All right, before we get started, I have to know, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, I wish I was more of a movie person.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have the attention span to watch movies for very long, I don't think. We'll go with Top Gun. It's the one I'll watch right now.
Okay, are you more of a TV show person?
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason I asked that was because...
short attention span.
Hey, and then lets you keep up with it. You got to look forward to what's coming up next. I can agree with that. I know the theater was having a showing today, like Shark Tales. And I was like, man, I didn't even get to...
Every Tuesday and Wednesday, you can come see a movie.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday. All right. I know that now. Got you. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and dive in. How would you define social wellness and its significance for students?
So the 7 dimensions really cover so many different things, but social wellness specifically kind of talks about the holistic student of how do you stay happy and balanced. I like to think of it as you find your people. And that could mean a place, a physical, like some people find that in different organizations that they're in the community and or here on campus.
Right.
Sometimes it's just a group of friends that meet on a regular basis or that you can reach out to. Faith-based groups is another one.
Right.
It can mean a lot of different things, but mostly it just means that you're filling your cup with joy from other people.
So like you have students from all type of backgrounds, all type of cities. You got people from Dallas, Houston, small town Lufkin, things like that. So social wellness is something that they're getting acclimated to, making new friends and things like that.
Yeah, and if you think about all of us for the most part come from some kind of family, some kind of whatever that family is defined by each student and each person. But you try to find that comfort in wherever you go. And sometimes you're finding the opposite of what you're coming from and you're looking for new. And so sometimes it's about exploring what new communities you want. But a lot of times it's just about where you feel like you can be your most genuine and authentic self.
I like that. What diverse social activities and clubs are available for students on campus?
Countless.
Okay.
So we have 256 student organizations.
Wow.
Within there's some that are really focused on true diversity, that their mission is to advocate for marginalized populations or for global initiatives and things of that sort. But I would argue that almost all of them in some form or fashion is diversity because they're focusing on the needs of different students and populations. Yeah. And they're building those communities. And sometimes it's based off of interest, and sometimes it's based off of culture, and sometimes it's based off of a shared passion for something.
Right. And I think something that Dr. D's helped me understand was if a student gets tethered to like a group or organization or even like the radio station and things like that, it allows them to kind of desire to be on campus more. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So sense of belonging is survival. Like if you can try to gain anything in college, yes, knowledge, but also a sense of belonging so that it fulfills you, right? And so just like Dr. Dees was talking about, involvement can mean lots of things.
Right.
From the lady who does involvement, right? Like get everybody involved. I talk about it all the time. It changed my life in college, so it was important for me to do that as my life work. But when I say involvement, it's not necessarily a roster. Like you're not being in an organization. It's about joining an experience and doing it consistently enough that it becomes part of who you are and part of what you desire to do every day.
Okay, I can agree with that. I like that. Why is active participation in social activities highly encouraged for students?
You ever find yourself couch potatoing all day long and wake up and the whole day went away? Yeah, every day doing that really is hard to get motivated, right? It becomes part of your routine. And so it's really important just to fill your life with lots of things. Right. And that can be people. Maybe you're not into having people around all the time. And
True.
so then it's about passions and following what you're wanting to do. Maybe it's joining an intramural game or going to fine arts events and taking in culture and entertainment.
Okay.
Maybe it's about joining and getting a part-time job or
Yeah.
being a DJ or whatever it is that kind of fills your day. But if you end up finding yourself sitting and staring at the wall all day, then that becomes part of who you are,
Yeah, right.
and you lose sight of what you want to be.
So from my experience, I've seen a lot of incoming freshmen, and you have some older people, but they're not really on campus as much. But you see a lot of incoming freshmen who are stuck in their dorm, like trying to find those things, or I wouldn't even say they're trying to find it, but they get comfortable in their little bubble. How would you teach them to kind of get out that bubble?
Yeah, so the world is a weird place in the idea that it's transitioned a lot, especially for like our new students, like
Right.
incoming that freshman, sophomore year. And I don't know what year you are by any, but students in this population went from having to rely on technology after the pandemic and things of that sort, that their community started to be online.
Right.
And it's maybe like a gaming community or something, some kind of social media platform,
Right.
wherever it is that you have to look at
People
it every day.
making
'cause
TikToks all the
yeah,
time.
there you go. That is where you go to find, you're like, oh no, I have all these people in my life.
Right.
But you're giving to them, but how are they necessarily giving back to you? And so involvement is important there because it's transactional.
Okay.
But I mean, also, there's this transformation, this where you're coming in and you're getting used to what independence looks like.
Right.
For many students, they went from a K through 12 background that was very routine and organized.
Right.
Somebody else controlled it, though. It told them when to wake up and when to leave. And there was not a lot of independent thinking in that as far as like control. You couldn't drive when you were 15. You know,
Right.
you go wherever somebody took you. And so there's some transition with that. And some students do really well with it.
Okay.
And some students, the fear of doing it sometimes becomes too paralyzing and they end up just avoiding it. And then some, it becomes too overwhelming or they just don't know where to start.
Right.
And that's where offices like ours, student engagement, is like, hey, just come here. Come find us first and let's figure out uniquely for you what is your best path to finding your people.
I like that. I believe that almost leads into our next question. Who's eligible to participate in these social activities and what are the membership criteria?
All, A-L-L, all caps, everyone. If you're enrolled at SFA, we want you to try to find a place that you feel like, it feels like home. Make this house a home, right?
Right.
Other than just coming and going every day, how do you make this feel like it's a place where you want to go back for the holidays and tell your family, oh no, I got to go home.
Right.
And you're calling them both home.
Yes.
And then we know we've done our job. But all students are encouraged to just go and join organizations. Now, every organization is a little bit different, right? Some have application processes, but I'd say the vast majority of them is just show up and people will love you. Just come and be part of it. But that TRY is really hard because that takes courage. And so we talk about all the time in our world that 20 seconds of bravery can go a really long way. So walking into an event, making eye contact with someone in the dining hall or when you're going to an event, asking your suite mates to come with you to something, those little 20 seconds of bravery will end up making you much more courageous, but also much more successful.
I like it. And so I think you said the biggest part. You just got to show up because there's always something going on campus. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't see it. You're in your dorm.
Yeah. You know, welcome to the struggle. Trying to determine and develop programs that every student is excited about coming to is truly impossible. I welcome anybody who wants to come. I will hire you and you can come help me figure out what events to host on a regular basis. But there's a lot of variables, right? We only have so many spaces. We only have so much financing. And while everybody has their own idea of where that financing can be spent, you got to meet a lot of different experiences for a lot of different people. And so we just try to change it up. But I do want to point out that most of the events from our sponsored groups, like our student activities or SAA, student government, all of the different organizations, those events are determined by students. And so if you want to have an impact and there's a dream you have of an event, you got to join those organizations. You got to go out for an application and tell them your passion. And then you can really make a real impact on this campus.
Okay. So it's not that hard. You get involved, you tell us what activity you want, and we'll get straight to it. When are the scheduled timings for these social activities, and how frequent are they? How frequent do they occur?
So just like the variety of events, we want to make sure we have a variety of times.
Right.
A lot of the events happen after hours, just like that 6 to 10 o'clock time. Because the majority of students are not in class during that time.
Yeah.
But that does get complicated for our students who are maybe commuters. I live 45 minutes away, and choosing to stay too late is a decision I have to make.
Like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., right?
Yeah, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. But we try to do a lot of what we call nooners or just like come and go events during the day.
Yeah.
And so that makes a big difference. We're launching the Involvement Center up on the third floor of the Student Center. It opens up on the first week of school. And its hours are going to be from 10 to 7. And we're going to have events in the morning for commuters and events throughout the day. So really trying to meet the need of lots of different students.
Yeah. So no matter what time you're really on campus, there's always something going on. I like it. But do they occur like frequently? Like, would you catch it Monday through Friday? Is it more of a Wednesday, at the end of the week?
Yeah, I'd say we try to look at Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Okay.
Monday gives us the day to remind everybody that the event is about to happen.
Right.
We just don't have a big turnout on Mondays. And then Thursday, Fridays, we're really either trying to do alternative programming, so maybe some late night programming, but we try not to compete with other events that are on campus.
Right.
And fall is really hard because there's football season.
Yes.
And everybody's just going a lot of different directions during the fall. And so I'd say the majority of our events are on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Okay. That's a great thing to know.
Yeah.
Where are the designated locations for the social activities held, and how can students get involved?
Yeah, so we do a lot of events in the Student Center because it is the student center, right? We try to make it feel like home and a place where people can go. And it's where a lot of foot traffic is. And so if we're asking people to be brave and try, the chances of them walking by to go to the dining hall and they see some long line or music playing or something like that, the chances are higher that they're going to stop. And so we do a lot of events in the Student Center or right outside of the Student Center in what we call like the plaza, the BPSE, Bakersfield Plaza. And then we try to go a little bit everywhere else, but we run into issues with technology and electricity and lighting. And so we do what we can.
So I know my favorite place to find most of these activities, especially as I was announcing them, was the handle. You know, can you give us a little bit of understanding of what the handle is?
Yeah, so we were doing it the old school way, very manual, and just relying on a lot of posters and things like that, and student organizations, tabling. But, you know, it's just, why not be able to look at all of these things from your bedroom in your pajamas anytime? And so we were able to work on getting an involvement platform. We call it the handle because it's a good play on words. Axe handle, it's your social media handle, all of the things. And so student organizations post their own profile. You can direct message the individual student organization.
Really?
And then it's connected to whoever they identify their 4 officers to be the one responding back. So you can direct message them. You can see what's going on, see what all their events are. So you can either go to the org tab to see all the orgs, or you can go to the events tab to see all the events. And so every event that happens on campus has to be registered with our office. And that's done through the handle. So students can go on there and see it. And the neat part about it is you can add it to your calendar. So if you're on your phone or your computer, you log into the handle and you hit add to calendar, and it'll add to whatever your default calendar on that device is.
How does a person find the handle?
So lots of different ways. They can go to My SFA under the Campus Life tab, but I'm not going to lie, that all changed, and we'll put up some pictures. I'm still learning how to navigate it. So
it looks good.
It's beautiful.
What am I looking at?
I scream at my screen a lot going, what is this? But so definitely there, you can just go to the SFA website /handle. Or you can follow us on Jack's Get Involved on all of the social media platforms, and we've got information there.
So y'all are on Instagram, y'all are on Facebook, all of that.
Yeah, we're not on X just because that's where all the alumni and #old people are. Like me. So we do.
I want to say it. I'd be seeing the
We
Twitter
are on
handles.
Facebook though too. So parents, a lot of parents follow us on Facebook, and some students. But definitely check out our Insta.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to let students know about how to get involved?
No, I just think to kind of wrap up the sociocultural concept is, your wellness is something that you can control, all of it, from choosing to go work out to eating healthy to finding something spiritual, educational, finding a job, whatever it may be. But social is ideally the easiest one for you to be able to control. It's just about going and finding people to connect with.
Right.
And when you can't find those people, asking someone for help, because there's a lot of resources on this campus that sometimes students don't find out about until they're at the end of their journey, or they've already hit crisis and now they want more help trying to figure out how to navigate their way out of that, and let us be proactive.
Okay. I do have some curious questions just for myself. If you want to start an organization or like a club or anything else like that, what is the procedure for that?
Yes, please. You only need 4 students and an advisor. So find that first. I always say go recruit, whatever it may be. And then you have to have a constitution. I have a template of one that you can use, and you work through it. And then your 4 officers have to attend a training so you don't break any rules along the way.
Right.
And then you're free to go. And then once you've been an organization for 1 year, then you can apply for what we call SORF funding, which is Student Org Resource Funding. And you can actually get funding to do all of your passion projects, or just buy pizza for dinner.
I like it. Or just buy pizza for dinner. And so as far as the major ones, like most students know about, do I have to join a frat? Do I have to be an athlete? You know, just the major thing that kind of, you may not feel like that's your thing. Do you feel like most students navigate towards that, or they find other activities on campus?
Well, our Greek life is really large. We are about 12% of the population is Greek. And I think a lot of that is, a lot of students maybe are second generation or multi-generation college, and maybe their family were involved in Greeks, and they usually feel more comfortable navigating. But there are a lot of first-gen students who also go Greek. There is something about being Greek that is a lifelong commitment that really draws a lot of students, and it's a cool experience. But there's 256 other student organizations to join, and you can definitely find your way there.
Okay, and this is going to be my last personal one. I understand sometimes I get overly engaged in certain social activities. Like my professor, like, why are you not in class? I'm like, well, my class was for 10 to 12.
You got to prioritize that.
Right. So how does the student actually learn how to balance the social activities?
Yeah. So I use this concept of, I like to relate it to food, because I feel like everybody's been to a restaurant at some point in their life. And so the problem for some students, like me, I was this way as an undergrad, is I like to look at involvement like a buffet. Yeah. Where I was just gathering all of it. And I'm not going to lie, I probably wanted to be in charge of all of it along the way, too. That was just my ambitious personality, bossy since birth, right? But there are where you can do an appetizer. And a lot of times our academic organizations are great ones for that, because they're really low commitment for the most part. Yeah. You can join, go when you can, and then you're getting something out of it to think of the future. But then sometimes it's just main course, and some people have a little dessert on the side and try to think of like, okay, well, I'm definitely going to be involved in this organization, but these other things help fulfill me. And you just have to figure out then how to prioritize and balance amongst what you decided. And make hard decisions, Musa. Yeah. Sometimes you have to look at your list and go, I really can't give as much as I used to, and I'm going to let somebody new in a leadership role take over here while I give more energy to something else.
Sidebar on that, would you say, how do you recognize, okay, you're not really doing good by midterms, you know, it's time to kind of less.
Well, every semester is going to look very different, right? And so that's about figuring out what you want. My suggestion is there's lots of different things. I walk my students through this like 4-box thing where you choose your priorities and what you're doing with your time. But a really simple one is just literally make your schedule of what you're doing. And if there's overlap, you've got to make a change.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Lacy, Thank you, Dr. Lacy.
It's new. It's fine. You can still always
You got to celebrate it. You got to celebrate it.
I do. I love it, but I don't want it to be a barrier for students. So.
I can agree with that. But thank you, Dr. Lacy, for sharing your valuable insight on social wellness. That wraps up today's episode of The Hub Hero. Remember, social wellness is a vital part of your overall well-being. Don't hesitate to reach out and utilize these resources available to you at SFA. Subscribe to our podcast for more insight into the other dimensions of wellness and your weekly dose of wellness tips and advice. Connect with us on social media to share your thoughts and stay engaged in the SFA community. Until next time, keep fostering those connections and building your community.